The footsteps in the snow don't belong to anyone alive. Snow records everything, even the things that should stay buried. Fresh snow fell every night where I lived, thick, white, silent. It should have been peaceful. But on December 19th, everything changed. When I opened my door that morning, I saw bare human footprints in the snow. Small. Deep. Leading from the forest straight to my porch. But here's what made my stomach drop. There were no footprints going back. It was like someone walked up to my house, and vanished. The next night, more footprints appeared. This time they circled the cabin, slow, deliberate loops, like something pacing, deciding. On the third night, I woke up to a soft noise. Crunch. 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 Footsteps. Moving in a slow circle around the cabin, dragging like the person was half frozen, or missing legs. When I looked outside, the prints were fresh, but the snow was falling. Something was out there right now, moving just out of sight. On the fourth night, the footprints stopped right at my bedroom window. When I lifted the blinds, there was no one outside. But the glass fogged over. Breath. On the outside. That night, I pushed a dresser in front of the door. Christmas Eve. It finally knocked. 3 slow taps. Like knuckles frozen stiff. When I looked out in the morning, new footprints trailed into the forest. This time, I followed. The print stopped at a spot where the snow was mounded, like a grave. That's when I realized. They weren't footprints of someone visiting me. They were footprints of something trying to escape what it was buried with. And last night. The knocking came from inside the cabin. Don't pick up hitchhikers on winter highways, they don't melt. Some people freeze to death. Others freeze, and keep walking. It was 2:03 a.m. A blizzard, whiteout conditions, and a completely empty highway. So when I saw a woman on the shoulder wearing a thin white dress, no jacket, no shoes, I knew something was wrong. She didn't wave for help. She didn't shiver. She just stared at me with a hollow smile as I drove past. 2 miles later, my radio died. Static filled the car. Then a whisper crackled through the speakers. You left me in the cold. I froze. My rearview mirror began to fog over, from the inside. Like something behind me was breathing. When I wiped it, she was in my back seat. Head tilted. Skin pale blue. Frost forming in her hair. Her voice was a brittle whisper. Take me home. I slammed the brakes, turned around. The seat was empty. On the floor was melted snow, and a trail of slushy footprints leading out of the car. But that's impossible, I didn't hear the doors open. When I stepped outside, I saw them. Wet footprints circling my car. Once. Twice. 3 times. Then they trailed off into the snowbank, disappearing into the dark. The next morning, at the gas station, the clerk's face went white when he saw me. That woman, he said. Yeah, she died on this road 10 years ago. People still see her. Before I could speak, he asked. Did she follow you home? And then I noticed it. The frost on the backseat window. Shaped like a handprint. My neighbor only comes out during snowstorms, he's been dead 12 years. Snowstorms bring out the things buried beneath them. My neighbor, Mr. Darren, died 12 winters ago. Loved by everyone. Funeral. Closed casket. We all saw him lowered into the ground. So explain this. Whenever a snowstorm hits, I see him. Shoveling. Yes, shoveling his driveway in the same green coat. Same hat. Same stiff, jerky movements like his joints don't work right. The first time I saw him, I thought it was a hallucination. But then he paused, looked straight at my house. And lifted a hand to point at me. The second storm was worse. 3 loud knocks woke me up at midnight. When I looked outside, his driveway was perfectly shoveled, but his footprints led straight toward my porch. In the morning, I saw melted handprints on my front door. 5 long finger streaks, like someone pressed their hands there for hours, trying to warm them. The third storm hit last week. This time, he wasn't shoveling. He was standing at the edge of my yard. Same coat. Same hat. Eyes sewn shut. The wind howled, but he didn't move. Didn't blink. Just faced my house, head tilted, as if listening to something inside. I checked the camera footage later. Mr. Darren didn't walk up to my yard. He appeared, frame by frame, the way something steps out of a shadow. And today, the sky is gray. Storm clouds forming. My door just knocked again. 3 times. Just like before. But this time, the handprints on the door are fresh. And they're on the inside. The thing inside the snowman isn't frozen anymore. We didn't build the snowman. It built itself. It appeared overnight. Perfectly round head, crooked smile, pebble eyes, the classic snowman. But we didn't build it. And there were no footprints around it. Only drag marks, long ones, leading from the forest straight into our yard, like something crawled through the snow to stand there. The second night, the snowman was closer to the house. Not knocked over. Not reconstructed. Just, closer. 4 feet closer. The third night, even closer. Its smile wider. Its pebble eyes replaced with something wet, something red. The fourth night, it stood right against the window. Its snowy face pressed to the glass. Inside its stomach was something dark wriggling under the ice. I checked our backyard camera. I wish I hadn't. The snowman didn't walk. The snow around it bulged, rose, reshaped, like something beneath the snow was standing up and forming a body around itself. A shell. A disguise. On the 5th night, it melted. Not from heat. From movement. The shape inside it, tall, bony, pale, stepped free and walked around the house, dragging long fingers in the snow. I heard it tapping the glass as I forced myself under the bed. In the morning, the snowman was gone. But the drag marks were back. Leading straight to our front door. And this time, something left footprints going inside. The frozen caller keeps asking for my name. Voices shouldn't echo through snow. It started last December during the coldest winter we'd had in years. Every night at 3:14 a.m., my phone buzzed with the same caller ID. Unknown, cold region. I thought it was a glitch, until I answered. No words. Just heavy breathing. The kind that sounds like lungs full of ice and water. The next night, I heard a faint crackling behind the breathing. Footsteps crunching in snow. I hung up. But the footsteps kept going. Closer. Closer. Closer, until they sounded like they were outside my bedroom window. The third night, the voice finally whispered. You're the last warm one. The call ended with a sound like teeth clicking together. I turned off my phone. But the second I muted it, the breathing continued. Right outside my door. Slow. Wet. Frozen. The fourth night, the call didn't come. Instead, I woke to frost on my bedroom wall. In the shape of a handprint. When I touched the wall, it wasn't cold, it burned. The fifth night, the call rang again. But this time, it didn't whisper. It said my name. And behind the voice, I heard footsteps again. Not through the phone. Walking down my hallway. Last night, I woke up to see my phone on the floor. The screen was cracked. And someone, or something, had opened my contacts. The name it pressed was labeled home. Except, it wasn't my home number. It was my bedroom number from when I lived in the hospital as a child. That room has been abandoned for 17 years. And someone, from somewhere freezing, is trying to call back. Something knocks from under the ice on the lake. The lake freezes things in place, but something still moves beneath. The lake behind my house freezes every winter, turning into a solid sheet of ice. People skate on it. Kids play hockey. It's supposed to be safe. Last week, I skated near the middle when I heard it. Knock. Soft. Slow. From below. I froze. Leaned forward. Pressed an ear to the ice. Another knock. Then another. Then scratching. Nails dragging across the frozen underside. I looked down through the ice. A face stared up at me. Gray skin. Wide eyes. Mouth open like it had been screaming for hours. Its hand smacked the ice right under mine, and I nearly fell. I scrambled off the lake. But when I looked back, the face followed me, drifting beneath the ice like it was swimming upside down. The next day, I returned with my brother. He laughed until he saw it too. A pale shape drifting directly beneath us, matching our steps. Following. Then more faces appeared behind it. 5. 10. 20. All staring upward, all pressing their hands against the ice. Not asking us to save them. But warning us. Because on the far side of the lake, something huge was moving beneath the ice. Sliding toward us. The faces scattered like they were terrified of it. The knocking didn't come from them. It came from the thing chasing them. A deep, echoing thud that shook the entire lake. Now every night, that thud comes from under the ice closer to shore. Last night, I heard it right beneath my dock. I think whatever lives under the lake doesn't want to stay under the lake anymore. The last cabin light isn't from a cabin anymore. Some lights don't come from windows, they come from watchers. There's an abandoned cabin deep in the forest near my town. No one has lived there in 30 years. No power. No wiring. No reason for a light to ever switch on. But when snowstorms hit, a single warm yellow light glows from inside. Everyone avoids that place, except me. Curiosity wins when you're stupid. Last night, with the snow falling hard, I walked toward it. At first, I thought the light was flickering like a candle in a window. But as I got closer, the window didn't look right. It looked soft. Moving. Almost organic. The snow around me swallowed my tracks the instant I stepped. The forest got unnaturally quiet. And the light grew brighter, like it was reacting to me. When I was 20 steps away, it blinked. Not flickered. Blinked. Like a giant I was opening and closing. I froze. The light curved slightly, like it was looking at me from the dark. Then it moved higher. Far above where a window should be. Following me. The cabin shape around it melted. Shifted. Like the building wasn't real, just a silhouette that hit something huge. The blinking light tilted one last time, as if studying me, then vanished. The next morning, the snow around the cabin was flattened like something enormous had crouched there all night. Waiting for me to come closer. The snow outside my window forms a face every night at 2:17. It presses its face into the snow like it's trying to look in. Every morning this winter, I wake up to a strange sight. The snow beneath my bedroom window has the imprint of a human face in it. Eyes wide open. Mouth stretched. Nose flattened like someone was lying face down, staring upward through the glass. The first time, I brushed it off. But then it happened again. And again. Every imprint appeared right at 2:17 a.m. I checked my security camera. But the footage always cuts out from 2:16 to 2:18, replaced with static. Last night, I stayed awake. At exactly 2:17, my room temperature dropped to freezing. The window fogged intensely. And then, a shadow leaned over the sill outside. I couldn't see details, just a human-like shape kneeling in the snow. It pressed its face upward into the ground, slowly forming the shape I always see. Then it lifted a hand. And placed its palm against the glass from outside. Thin fingers. Sharp nails. Blue skin. In the morning, the imprint under my window had changed. The mouth wasn't open anymore. It was smiling. And this time, a handprint was pressed on the inside of the glass. The winter storm brings people that don't move right. Silhouettes shouldn't walk against the wind. The blizzard hit at midnight. It was so thick you couldn't see 5 feet out the window. I turned off the lights and watched the storm from my living room. Snow swirled violently, but shapes started appearing within it. People. Or at least, outlines of people. They walked through the storm slowly, like they were pushing through water instead of snow. But the wind was blowing one way. And they were walking against it. One figure stumbled, then jerked unnaturally, like a puppet yanked by invisible strings. Its head snapped backward too far, but it kept walking. Another figure bent at the waist, leaning sideways at an angle no human spine could manage. The worst one was the one closest to my yard. It stopped in place. Slowly turned its head. And even though the blizzard made visibility almost zero, it looked straight at me. The wind didn't touch it. Snow passed through it. Its arm lifted. Elbow bending the wrong direction. Behind it, another figure approached and placed its hand on the first one's shoulder. The first one collapsed instantly, like it didn't have bones. The second one lifted its limp body like carrying a coat. And walked into the storm. Every night since, the silhouettes get closer. Last night, one of them reached my porch. I didn't see it. But the snow on my steps melted away in the shape of a body. Lying there. Waiting. My car keeps defrosting the frost that isn't mine. When the frost forms on the inside, something wants out. Every winter morning when I start my car, the windows frost over from the outside. But this year is different. The frost is inside. Small handprints appeared on the back window, like a child pressed their hands there and breathed on the glass. But I don't have kids. No one else uses my car. The next morning, the handprints were bigger. Then the next, even bigger. Like whatever is inside my car is growing. Yesterday, the back seat light flicked on. I watched it from the window. No movement. No shadows. Just the slow sinking of the back seat cushion. Like someone sat down very gently. This morning, I wiped the frost and found something written backward from the inside. Let me out. My car door was unlocked. And the back seat had 2 indentations this time. One on each side. As if something sat there, watching me drive.